The main reason I came to RU is because when I graduate and have 6 months, that will be the most clean time I've had in 4 years. And that will be the biggest accomplishment, I think, of my life.
Sometimes life takes us on some pretty rough roads, and those roads lead us to places that we potentially never expected to see ourselves or ever dreamed we would end up at.
Started using when I was about 13, started off small, wound up going bigger and bigger until I was a full-blown heroin addict. In and out of treatment centers, in and out of jail, and finally, end of the road, had to go somewhere. I had no hope and saw no light at the end of the tunnel.
I've had a problem with drugs and with alcohol. I was in some very abusive relationships, and I probably would have ended up dying at some point if I didn't change something very drastically. And the RU programs allowed me to do that. And for the first time in 30 years, I finally realized that I can't have a different life than the life that I thought I'd have to have.
I started using drugs and alcohol at a young age. Quickly turned into doing crimes while I was high or intoxicated. I started stealing cars. Started doing armed robberies. I got a hold of a pistol and I started using a gun. And when I was 15, I was convicted of armed robbery and I was sentenced to 4 years.
The RU Home is a minimal 6-month commitment. It's a very structured program. The exciting thing about the RU Home is that it is an addiction program. It's addictions of all kinds. It's addictions for alcohol, drugs, gambling, overeating, pornography. Our goal is, with our team leaders, to provide an environment that we meet the mental needs of the men that come in and the ladies. We meet the physical needs, the emotional needs, and then of course, more than anything, is the spiritual need. It is a faith-based, Christ-centered program. The heartbeat of the RU Home is chapel. We have chapel twice a day. We have chapel once in the morning from 7:30 till 8:30, and then once again in the evening from 7 till 8. We have a class every afternoon where the residents are responsible for completing 7 of the assignments in the curriculum, total of 170 different assignments. We use the Reformers Unanimous faith-based curriculum. So they work through this curriculum, and at the end of the 6 months, 7 challenges a week or 7 assignments a week, and they have the 170 completed. It is a very structured program. The men are all up at 6 o'clock. Likewise, the women in the ladies' RU Home, they have breakfast. They go to chapel. They have different work details that they're assigned. Each one of them every day have a different responsibility that they have to fulfill. They're back at noon for lunch till 1 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, they're back in the home, and they have an hour of free time. They can play ping pong, they can shoot pool, they can work out in a gym, they can play darts, they can read, they can go to their rooms. Then we have our class at 4 o'clock. At 5 is dinner. At 5:30, we make available, again, a free time till 7 o'clock when we have chapel. So from 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock, they can work out in the gym. They can go and play basketball. We have an inside basketball court. They can go to the boxing gym, work out at the boxing gym, box, and again, do any of the other activities. The men that come into the program, when they first initially come in, they're on a probation period. That probation period is a 4-month period, which means they cannot leave the program unless they leave on a group activity or a group work detail. After they're done with that first 4 months, they've completed the 4-month probation period, then it's mandatory that they seek outside employment. The RU program in Hammond is a minimal 6-month commitment, but there is no maximum amount of time. Our residents come, probably a third of our residents have been there for over a year. If a man is doing well when he completes the 6 months and he feels like that he is starting to get a rhythm in his life that he may have never experienced before, and he wants to continue to work, then we allow him the privilege to stay longer, and we allow them the privilege to stay as long as they'd like to. They're still responsible for fulfilling all of the policies and the procedures.
If you come with one way, they help you to change that way, to do something better with your life. If you come in with old habits, they help you to reform it and have new habits.
Since I've come to the RU home, it's definitely mended the fences back with my mom and dad, and they're super excited that I'm here and I'm making it happen.
If you or a loved one have found yourself on the wrong road, think about the Reformers Unanimous Home in Hammond. There are better roads ahead.